tee box trivia. Y'all ready for this? So we're going to go look back over here again. Mr. Daniel's going to call on you. Raise your hand. Please don't just pop on and start shouting off answers. So we're going to say right here is a tee box. I've got a tee marker here. I got a tee marker over here. And I'm going to get up here, and I'm hitting the ball that way. Raise your hand on the screen. Are you allowed to tee off in front of the tee markers? Anybody?
Colby, I'm unmuting you there. Colby and Parker.
No.
That's correct. You're not allowed to tee off in front of the tee markers, either equal to or behind. Okay, next question. We're going to mute them back. Next question. How many club lengths behind the tee markers can I go back this way and tee up the ball? How far back am I allowed to go? Ooh.
You are allowed to go back 2 club lengths.
2 club lengths. Good answer. So this area up here may not be really level, so I may need to go back here, and all I would do is take my club and put it down like this and go back here, and then it would be a big imaginary rectangle, and I can put the ball anywhere in that rectangle. So let's see, here's another question for you. Can I stand outside of that imaginary rectangle and hit a ball that's teed up inside the rectangle?
Alexis Roth.
Yes, because technically the ball is in the rectangle.
Boom, good answer. Yeah, as long as the ball's in that rectangle, you are allowed to whack it from there. Now, here's one of my favorite ones that people always get confused on. So Coach B's going to get up there. It's his turn to hit. He gets up there. He gives the old knee shimmy. He gives the old waggle like this, and he's really rearing up like he's going to hit a good one, and I accidentally hit the ball off the tee. Does that count as a shot?
We got people raising their hands here. Let's go to Thomas.
Yes.
Okay, so here, let me get in here real quick. Okay, so when I play golf and I'm on the tee box over here, the ball is not in play yet. It's not in play. I haven't put it in play. So until I actually make an attempt to hit the ball, that ball's not in play. So if I do a little waggle and I accidentally knock the ball off the tee, it does not count as a shot. Once I do put the ball in play, if I stood up there and gave it a little waggle like that and hit the ball a little bit, if I moved it even this far, it would count as a shot. So remember that. On the tee box, it doesn't count if you accidentally knock it off. But once you make an attempt to put the ball in play, that's a different story. So the next question is, get back there. Oh, once again, Coach B gets up there. He gives the knee shimmy. He gives the waggle. He takes the mighty swing, and he completely misses the ball. Does that count as a shot?
Vishal.
No.
Okay, how about we go with the other answer?
Pete.
Yes.
It does count as a shot. If you make an attempt to hit the ball and put it in play, or make an attempt to hit the ball at any point in time on the golf course, once you make that attempt and you miss the ball, it does count as a shot. So if I'm on the very first hole and I stood up here, I'm trying to hit my first shot, and I completely whiff it. When I actually do make contact and hit the ball, that's going to be my second shot. So that's really important to understand. You can't just stand up there and miss it all day and there not be a penalty for it. So it's going to take a little bit of skill to hit the ball, so make sure that you understand all that when it comes to the golf. If you swing and miss, something happened. Oh, sorry, my phone went a little haywire there, and I lost me. I couldn't see me anymore. All right. So on the tee box, you get 2 club lengths from, can't tee off in front of it. It's kind of like a free throw line in basketball. You're not allowed to shoot your free throws in front of the free throw line. You got to be behind it. So make sure you're always behind that. Double check. Sometimes we get a little complacent. We're not paying attention. And next thing you know, you teed it up a couple inches in front of the tee marker, and that's not good. So, and there's a couple different things in match play. It's going to be your opponent's choice to whether you have to re-tee the ball or they can let you play it where you played it from. Kind of interesting that there's not a penalty there. But in stroke play, it's going to be a penalty and you got to re-tee and hit another ball. That happened in the NCAA tournament years ago. There was a young lady from UCLA, and she teed off, and her tee was still stuck in the ground. And her opponent goes, I think you teed off in front of the markers, and they came out and measured, and she was this far in front, 2-shot penalty, no bueno. So she ended up losing the tournament. So make sure you understand where you are and what you can do. On the tee box, you do not have to stand in that imaginary rectangle that's 2 club lengths behind the edge of the front edge of the markers, but the ball has to be inside of there. Oh, here's a good question for you. If you're on the tee box, do you have to tee the ball up? Anybody got an answer for that one?
We have, let's see here, William Roth.
William?
So, yes, you can. I mean, no, you can't. You can't.
Wait, do you have to tee it up?
Yeah. No, you don't. You can take it from anywhere, but you don't have
That's
to
right.
You don't have to use a tee.
You don't have to use a tee. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of history here. Way back when they started golf, they really didn't have tee boxes. You had to tee off within like a couple club lengths of the hole. So they would reach inside the hole, pull out some dirt, make a little dirt tee, put the ball in it, and hit it from there. So they didn't go over to another tee box. They just teed off next to the hole. Not too good if you're taking big chunks of turf out of the green, but once again, you know, your sheep were your lawnmowers back then, so really didn't matter. So a little bit of trivia for you there. They used to use dirt. And if you ever watch the movie The Greatest Game Ever Played, which is a great movie, I highly recommend everybody watches it. It's a true story. But the caddy for the main character went over on the tee box, and he took this little, it looked like a thimble, scooped the dirt out, put it on the tee box, and they set the ball on top of that, and that was their tee back then. Quite interesting, I think. So a little bit of trivia there for you. I'll circle back to, once again, the 3 tips for having fun. Be patient, be positive, ask for help. Be patient, be positive, ask for help. And just think about any time that you've tried something new that was a little frustrating. And your attitude's always going to affect the outcome of everything we do. And this is something I tell my son all the time. Attitude affects outcome. So if you maintain a positive attitude, you're going to end up with more positive results in the long run. So keep a positive attitude. Make sure that you're patient. And if you're having trouble, ask for help. Going back to our healthy habit of friends, make sure you get somebody to play golf with. Now, I know golf is an individual sport. You don't rely on your buddy to do this or that unless you have a match and you guys are on a team. But for the most part, golf is an individual sport. But it's always more fun to have somebody to play against and compete against, to push each other to get better and better and better. I know when I first started playing golf, I had a buddy who was a year older than me, a much better player, much better athlete, but I hated to lose to him. I'm competitive, so I don't like to lose. It's not, I always still had good sportsmanship, which is important, but I didn't like to lose. So it made me get better because when I started beating him, then the tables were turned, and that was a lot more fun. So the matches got a lot more competitive at that point. So always find somebody to compete against. Also, when you get out there to practice, in your yardage books, in the back, there's areas for notes. Now, I highly recommend if you are working on something or you have thoughts or ideas about, well, if I did this, this is what happens, write it down. Don't rely on this up here to remember it because it could be 2 weeks before you go out and play again. It could rain for 2 weeks. We could be quarantined for 2 months, whatever. You may not be able to get back out to the golf course anytime soon. And when you get back out there, you don't want to have to try to remember what you were working on. So I highly recommend that you get a notebook, put it in your golf bag, and go back and look at things that you thought, well, maybe if I did this, this is what happened. And write those things down. That's going to help you learn more and get better a lot quicker. So remember, write it down. Write it down. Because I always hated, I learned this the hard way. I was working on something. I was hitting the ball super good. And then 2 days later, I went back out and I'm going, what was I working on? And I completely forgot, didn't hit it that good anymore. So make sure you write things down. I believe that's about, that's all I have for today. That went pretty quick. Do you guys have any questions for me?
I have an extra trivia question there, Coach B.
Hit me.
Does anybody know, Coach B's talking about how things go on the tee box and practice swings. Does anybody know it was a 2-time major winner in the Masters, took a practice swing, hit his ball accidentally during a practice swing, and it ricocheted, hit the tee marker, and bounced up in the air? Does anybody know who that 2-time major champion was? Anyone?
Whew. That's a tough. That's probably
Luke,
one of
do
the
you
tough-
know?
Luke?
Oh, no, you're okay. Anybody? So it was former Masters champion Zach Johnson. And the funny thing is when Coach B was teaching this lesson and we were talking about it, I started thinking it really made me feel better about my knowledge of the rules of the game, because I don't always know all the rules. But when that happened to Zach Johnson, he looked at his playing partners and said, what do I do now? He did not know the rule, and he's a 2-time major champion. So it helps to listen to the things he's teaching us, because you may know more than a 2-time major champion.
It's kind of shocking how many of the tour players don't know all the rules. So every week we're going to try to go over some of the rules so you guys can protect yourselves from making a mistake out there. It's not so you can call penalties on other people. It's to protect you from making mistakes. That way you have more fun.
Does anybody have any questions? All righty. Well, thank you guys for being here. Don't forget, Friday is the last day to submit your plank challenge number.
Yeah.
So do the plank, get somebody to time you, send it in. Currently, the leader is the leading submission is 8 minutes and 1 second. And so you can do that between now and Friday. Send those in so you're registered for that. And we hope everybody has a great week, and we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Have a great day, everybody.
Take care, everybody.